Hi, I'm Daisy,
Hi, I'm David.
and we're the MSA Crusaders.
Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of MSA Crusaders. Today, we delve into the inspiring story of a remarkable woman whose 21-year marriage to her husband has been a testament to love, resilience, and strength in the face of multiple system atrophy. Juggling a demanding career in the medical field while nurturing two successful children, she shares her insights into navigating life's challenges with love, compassion, and grace. Join us as we explore the incredible journey of this family where love and determination shine brightly against the backdrop of adversity. I have the privilege to present the love of my life, Mia Moore, Suzy Knox.
Hello, Suzy. We're so glad to have you here today.
Hi, Daisy. It's nice to be here.
Do I have to say hi, Suzy?
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of elbowing behind this camera that people won't see today. So, we had mentioned before, Daisy, about bringing on friends and family and even my children, those that we can on a podcast to create more awareness. Because it's one thing to talk to somebody that has MSA themselves, yourself and myself, but also not only a spouse, be it a wife, a husband, a partner, but we had kids and grandparents, and the sisters that we interviewed before really made me think twice. And that was a very unusual thing to see, as a sister, adult sister, taking care of her sister who has MSA.
We're all MSA Crusaders. So everyone that comes on here that deals with a patient or helps us, they're MSA Crusaders as well.
Absolutely.
We're all in this fight together.
Unfortunately, yes, we are.
But we couldn't do it alone, so it's really great to have a support team to help us through it.
It is, absolutely. So, Suzy, tell us about yourself.
I am a very happy person. I come from a small family from Mexico. We've been here in the States about 30 years with my mom, and it's a very small family. I'm an only child. So, went to school here, half my life in Mexico, half my life here. I've worked since I was a teenager. I always had the dream of getting married, having children, living happily ever after, I think, like everyone does.
Sounds like some pretty big expectations there. Happily ever after. Tell us about life right before MSA.
Things were going great. We were watching our children grow. We have a home. We both were employed, very, very busy. We like to travel. So we had a lot of goals for the future, plans on retiring, just many, many hopes and dreams.
First question is really hard to answer, but can you share your personal experiences during your husband's diagnosis of MSA?
Yeah, that was very hard because we started thinking, oh, it's just arthritis. Oh, it can be, this or it could be that, and going through it and seeing symptoms and that were not very usual for what we thought he had or you had was very difficult to come up with an idea that the disease was nothing simple, that it was something that was going to completely change our life. It's been very difficult.
My first symptom was my feet. Walking in that parking lot outside Kohl's and Best Buy, like walking through the water of a beach. What was that? I mean, what were the first symptoms you actually saw? Because for me, that was the first thing I saw in hindsight. But yourself, what were the first symptoms you seen?
Yeah, we were walking. I remember clear as day walking through the store, and he's 6 feet tall and 4'11", so I'm always walking behind. So I'm behind him, and I'm like, I look down and I see him dragging his foot. And then I keep looking and I see that he's kind of dragging both. And so I grab onto his arm and I'm like, why are you dragging your foot or your feet? What's happening? And he says, I don't know. I just feel like my brain's not connecting to my legs, to my feet. And I just thought that was so weird that he was dragging his feet. That was the first time that I noticed something like that.
That was pretty
Wow.
right. Your wife scrutinizing you from behind. You heard what you said, right, Izzy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How has MSA impacted your daily life? I mean, not only yourself, but us as a couple, as far as like adjustments we'd have to make since MSA.
Well, it's been a couple of years now. We're going on 3, and I feel like every day is a different thing. Every day, I worry, since being in the medical field, caregiving is just in my nature, and I'm just naturally, I care about how he is. So every day is asking, how are you today? Do you need anything? What hurts today? Because it's like almost every day is something different. Something's hurting more. It's just is wondering how you're going to be feeling for the day. If you're going to feel like going out to the store or walking or just any simple task as far as moving right now. So things have changed a lot since 3 years ago almost.
I remember coming back from IU Health in Indianapolis when we were stuck in a traffic jam because of an accident. It might be for the best, not to be driving, but that's when I got the diagnosis for the MSA at the very beginning, after the DAT scans was finally done. How was that? How did you take that?
It was horrible. I remember I cried and cried and cried, and I hugged you, and I said everything's gonna be fine. We knew that it was a possibility that was going to be the answer. We wanted an answer, but we didn't want that answer. So it was horrible. I remember, like you said, I'm glad that you were pulled over, because I just hugged him or hugged you and cried and cried, and you cried, I cried, we were both crying. I mean, it was, like I said, we wanted an answer, but we didn't want that answer. So it was very difficult to hear or to see in paper, because I remember you saying, let me see the results. Like I wanted to read it myself. And when I read it, it was hard, very painful.
Yeah, I know that feeling. That's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
I will say when I read it before I showed her at that moment, I was actually comforted to know what it was.
Yeah,
I knew whatever it was aggressive. It was coming on quick, and I knew it was not going to be something very kind. I told one of my friends, I said, I literally told him, I said, I'm dying, and I know it. Just, this is not, I hurt my knee, this isn't my meniscus hurting or shoulders and torn, ligaments and tendons and stuff. This was something where my body was not sinking and getting worse, like very quickly in a case of a year at that point. So, horrible to hear the news, but I was very relieved to actually have a name on it, so I can try to attack it and put that behind my mind. Put it behind me.
you're not like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me?
Yeah, and that's the worst. I mean, the worst is I'm going to die, right?
But not knowing.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the worst thing for somebody to have something horribly bad happening and you can't put a name with it. Yeah. What types of support networks, if any, do you have, Suzy, as far as helping you with this journey with me with MSA? Is albeit professional services, church, friends, family, people who are not random people on the street? What support network do you rely on?
I am really thankful for my mother, your mother. They're wonderful women, because I can talk to them. I can say, today, he's hurting here. This is happening. They listen. They're both there. I also have great friends. I have some church friends. I have, religious friends. I just recently started seeing a therapist to talk about issues, and that's also been very helpful. My children were very open. We talk a lot. So I do feel like I'm grateful for a great support system, because I do have great friends that check up on me. My boss is very positive, very helpful, very open to, me saying, hey, I can't work these days. Hey, I'm not going to be here these days. And he's like, do what you got to do. You got to take care of your husband. Do what you got to do. So like, I've had no issues with my work, no fear of, oh, I'm going to get fired for all these days I've been taking off, or I need to take off for appointments, traveling, so I do feel like I have a very good support system and people to talk to, and we really need that. So I am grateful for everyone that's there.
Yeah, it helps my mom's boss. My mom's boss is the same way. So she lets her off when she needs to take me to appointments and things. That does make a difference. It really does.
It does. And Phil, when I met him, he mentioned a group of caregivers for MSA, and I'm not much of posting stuff or anything, but I do enjoy the post and I do comment on people's stuff. And that's also very helpful to see that other people are going through the same issues or, easier stuff or worse stuff, depending on where they are as far as how long ago they started with MSA. But that's also very helpful. I really find that helpful too.
You're talking about the Facebook groups
The
for
Facebook
MSA?
groups, yeah, for MSA. The caregivers. There's one specifically for caregivers.
Yeah.
It's the one that Phil.
Yeah, Phil mentioned
Yeah.
that. So I joined it, and I'm glad to see all of those things because it answers a lot of my questions. So
We mentioned before, we have 2 children, 18 and 12. One's in college for nursing. The other one is doing very well in middle school. Very, very good. An 18-year-old in the medical field, medical college nursing, is much easier to talk to about MSA than a 12-year-old who has no clue about neurodegenerative diseases. How were you able to communicate to our children about what this actually is?
well, we sat down with them and we explained it in as plainly as we could. The little one, finally, we had to tell her more because she was not making fun of her dad, but like, why is daddy going so slow? Why is daddy not walking fast enough? Daddy was always at the front, and I was always at the back, and now it was the opposite. So we had to explain to her that due to MSA, he has, changed and he's no longer able to walk as fast as he used to. And, she was, 9 when the symptoms started. So, yeah, I mean, it's a 9-year-old, she's now 12. She just turned 12. So it's easier, a little bit easier now. She understands that she sees him,
Progress.
symptoms progress. Yeah, she sees it and she kind of takes in a little bit more. Now our 18-year-old, well, she's in college and she's in medical field. So of course, immediately she Googled what it was. And before she did that, we wanted to talk to them and tell them so that fear wouldn't come. And of course, she still has it and more because she knows. She's learned about it and she's heard about it. She's read about it a lot. And, and she's always asking questions. And same thing, she watches him as the days go by, things change. He's no longer able to do a lot of things that he used to do. So, but we try to be as honest and open with them as we can.
So, I definitely want to talk a little more about the kids too. So, how has the role changed of the entire family? Where before, we both had our roles. You worked full time, mostly took care of the house. I worked full time. I mostly fixed everything. Did all the heavy things that typically a man would do. How has that role changed since your husband, myself, now doesn't work, is being more and more limited on what he can and cannot do around the house and pitch in? How has that whole dynamic changed with yourself and the kids?
Well, I did talk to both of them, and I did tell them, help that more. Just ask them, like when I'm at work and they're at home, because I've picked up more hours, obviously, but when I'm at work, I even to the little one, go check on daddy, see if he needs anything. Ask him if he wants anything. Ask him if he needs anything. The oldest, the same thing, when you get home from college, make sure that is okay. Make sure he ate, things that I didn't worry as much yesterday because I know, or, before, because I knew that you would go out and get your own food or cook something. But I know that things have changed and sometimes you just don't feel like it. And you're struggling for the day and you have a lot of pain and you don't feel like cooking or cleaning or doing anything. So things have changed a lot. Now I worry when you go out there and cut the grass. I am definitely worried like that you're gonna fall or hurt yourself. It's changed a lot, but I think we're doing pretty good.
Well, I want to ask you, what advice would you give to other parents who are raising children while caring for a spouse or someone with a progressive neurological disease, like MSA, for example?
Definitely be honest with them and let them know what's happening, what's coming, and also let them know that they need to be more involved. They need to help more. Like I've told my children, you have to look out for dad. If I'm at work, you have to go ask him. You have to make sure he's okay. Go knock on the door if it's closed. Make sure he doesn't need anything. If he's sleeping, let him sleep. But definitely be open with them. They need to understand, of course, according to their age is what you're going to tell them, but they need to know that it is a serious disease and sometimes dad won't be able to move, and you need to be there to help with whatever it is that he needs.
And has your extended family and community supported? Have they played a role in helping you with your children and navigating through this?
Yes, we do have very good friends. Also, like I've had friends who have offered to cook or to clean. My relatives, I have an aunt that lives close by, and she's offered to cook. My mom has offered to cook. I'm not there yet, and it's what I keep telling them. I'm still able to cook. I am tired, but it's kind of hard for me to accept the help yet. Like I feel like I can still do it, and maybe I should say yes so I can sit down and relax for a little,
Yeah.
but I don't, not yet. But they have offered. I have plenty of people that have. My mom, like I said, is always asking and helping, doing whatever she can. His mom is wonderful. When she comes, she cooks, she cleans. By the time I come home from work, she's already got dinner or figured out what's for dinner. She's already done laundry and swept and cleaned here and there. So, I mean, I do get a lot of help and support, but I do push a lot of people away too still.
My husband, he's the same way. I have respite care, and so I have 23 hours a week that is given for people to come and stay and help him out. And he's like, no, Sweetie, is probably about 12 hours of because he just doesn't want to let other people do it. He wants to do it himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I am right now. And I know that eventually I will need the help, that eventually I will tell my aunt, okay, you can bring me some dinner if you like, or my mom has offered to move in with us to help. And I'm like, Mom, right now we're still okay. We have the girls, they help out a lot. We're still okay. David is moves as much as he can still. So we are okay right now. And for the moment.
I couldn't imagine how it would be with having children in the home and the condition because my children are all grown. So you guys have a different kind of spin on it. And it seems like it would be harder, but at the same time, it seems like it would be easier because you would have that extra help in the home.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice that they have very similar likes too. All three of them like to play video games. So they all sit, the 12-year-old, the 18-year-old, and David, and they play video games for hours. They find other things that
He
they
can
didn't do
do.
before. Yeah, but things that he can do now. Like we used to be much more active. We used to walk a lot. We used to, do a lot. And we know that he can't do that anymore as often. And so he finds other ways to still spend time with them. So yeah, it is harder. Like I said, especially on the younger one, because she doesn't quite understand the full
Gravity.
yes of the
Mhm.
situation. So she understands that he's sick and that things are changing around the house, that he's no longer as active or doesn't walk as fast. She understands that now, and she walks a little slower or she'll do other things, but it is very difficult because we're watching him every day, so it's hard.
See, my children don't come around because they can't bear to see it. They think if they don't see it, it's not happening.
Yeah, and I could understand that, I guess, if they didn't live here, but both of them are here, and both of them, go upstairs, they sit next to him on the couch, they talk, they watch a TV, or they ask for help with their homework. He's always been very active with them, so they still sit there with dad, and he helps them as much as he can. He always has done that. That hasn't changed, but other activities have definitely changed.
Well, can you highlight some memorable moments or strategies that have helped you find joy and connection? Is that going to be like the video games and that sort of thing, or do you have more memories that you can share that since David has had to go through this, your family has had to change their
Well, we have learned to love going on cruises. So we
yes,
really
David talks about that a lot.
we love it. And what we've had changes because like on this last cruise, we would all five of us go because my mother-in-law was with us, and we would all go. And then, David was tired or he was done walking or it was too hot and he just couldn't handle it. And I'd just be like, okay, you guys go. I'll go with that back to the room, or you guys go, we're going to stay and wait, for you guys to come back. Or so things have changed, but we still keep trying to do our best. We still he still pushes to do stuff with them, which is, it's great because those kids are
I have those,
enjoying these memories.
and those have those memories. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So that's really good. You're still able to make memories for them to remember. And
Yeah, it's hard to do sometimes.
yeah, I wish I could still do that kind of stuff. I mean, luckily my son did take me to Florida this summer, so that was really nice. So we have that memory to share. See how you'd be grateful for that.
Definitely, those are precious memories. My oldest daughter and I, Sophia, we were just talking about that. We did Europe this summer, and that was probably our best trip ever. You know, the best memories we've made in a very long time. You know, we all enjoyed it so much.
All those cafe lattes.
Yeah, the coffee.
Too many crepes and too many coffees.
Yeah, but those memories are important for them, especially. You know, I appreciate them very much.
Given myself with MSA, what is the hardest thing for you to personally deal with me having MSA? What's the one thing that you struggle to work with me on with having MSA? Is it dealing with my random outbursts, the way I speak, out my feet, tripping, falling, punching at nighttime? I mean, what's the worst? You're right. I mean, let's be honest, but what's the worst thing if you had to name one that you had to deal with so far with me?
I think the speech, now that your speech is getting more slurred at times, and you get frustrated when nobody understands you. And I've been like his translator for a doctor's appointment because the doctor kept looking at me like, what did he just say? And I could understand, but not always. Not always. There's times when I'm like, what did you say? And I could see that he's so frustrated because I'm asking, you know, something that he thinks he said fluently, but it's not fluent anymore, you know? So that's, I think, the hardest. The getting punched at night, I've learned to sleep on the other side of the bed. So, and I've learned when he starts talking, then he starts punching. So I'm definitely go to the other side of the bed. So I'm good with that. I'm not, you know, I'm not worried about that or scared anymore. But yeah, I think the speech, the frustration that he has with others that don't understand him, or, you know, that he has to repeat himself. And I can understand a lot of it, but not all either. Sometimes that he speaks so softly, or he stutters or is so slurred that it's hard to understand. And I you know, I want to think in my head before I ask him to repeat himself to see if I can figure it out before I ask, because I don't want to make him angry. But I think that's a frustrating thing for everyone.
Yeah, he gets frustrated with me even when he can't understand me.
Yeah, when we first started talking, Daisy, let me tell you, I was praying to God, like, if this woman asks me one more question I don't understand, like, because I hate saying I'm sorry, or I hate saying I don't understand. You know, it's just my brain is 100,000 miles per hour, but
Yeah.
the mouth doesn't do it. And when I'm speaking, everything sounds perfectly clear to me.
That's what I hear. And he thinks he said it fluently, you know, and it's so hard because like I said, I don't want to ask him to repeat himself, but I need him to because I don't know what he just said.
Well, he
Yeah,
knows how you feel because he has to endure it with me.
He forgets.
Yeah, that's probably the weirdest thing is actually like the short-term memory. That's like, I don't want to call it dementia yet, but there is something. I'm asking the same question 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, that's just like no clue. Like that's like the next thing coming.
Yeah, Sophia. Yeah, our oldest just told me that. She's like, Dad just asked me the same questions like 3 times. And I'm like, be patient. Just repeat the answer. That's all.
Give me your answer, child.
It gets worse, David. It really does, because I've noticed that I'm having more long-term memories I can remember than short-term memories. I'm like, did I ask you, what we're having for dinner tonight? What did you say we're having for dinner tonight? So yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that in him too. He'll say things, and I know that I already answered that question, but I'll answer it again. Or sometimes I tell him, I'm gonna send you a text so you can just read it later on, because he'll say, you didn't tell me that, or you didn't answer that. And I know that we talked about it, but yeah, the memory is a little issue right now.
It's scary. It's scary for us too, because we're like, am I losing my mind?
Yes.
Do I have one to begin with?
How do you keep the kids at bay from revolting against me for having MSA?
I tell them, like, when you have days when you're frustrated, and we can see it, and I can see it better because we've been married 21 years. And I'll tell them, hey, that's having a bad day. Let's go to the mall. Let's go out to get coffee. And I'll explain to them he doesn't feel good. He's in pain. We just have to be patient.
Stay away from him.
And just leave him alone. He goes to his room. He has a computer room, and just leave him alone. Don't bother Dad. And I'll say it. Don't be loud. Dad is taking a nap, or Dad's not feeling good. Leave him alone. And they understand that. They're both very smart girls.
How do you communicate with David about his condition, and how has that communication evolved over this time?
She's grinning and I'm laughing as you ask that question. Punches pop.
Well, he reads a lot, so he knows every symptom, everything, and he's good at communicating with me more than I am with him, because he'll tell me, now I have the symptom, and this is what's happening, and this is why it's happening, and there may be this that could help, but maybe it won't. So he's the one that communicates with me more. My questions are plain and simple. How are you feeling today? What's hurting? Are you able to eat today? Do you want to walk today? So my questions are smaller. How do you feel about doing something tomorrow? The only thing that has changed is that I don't make long-term plans, because I don't know how he's going to wake up that day. I don't know how he's going to feel for the day. So that has changed, but he's the one that educates me a lot about the disease. He reads a lot.
I'll say the one thing Suzy does immaculately well at is, it's tough. Nothing's perfect, but listening to when I complain about things. When my father had passed, he never really described who, what, when, where, and how his disease he had progressed, and we knew he was in pain. We saw the pain, kind of, sort of, but we didn't know why, or how. And that's why, like I told, like an example, the last few days, I told my wife my meniscus and my knees are gone. They hurt so bad, and it's because my tremors are so bad the last few days. My knees are shaking 10 times more than they normally do. Normally that comes for a few days and goes away, but it's a different type of pain. But I feel unfortunately, not that I want to complain about everything that I go through and symptoms that I have, but I think it's important that, especially my wife, knows what's happening, why it's happening, where it's happening, and is there anything we can do about it besides more medicine or whatever. I can't imagine having someone who wouldn't listen. It's important for me to get things out there. That's why some of my YouTube videos are more personal, like the last one.
My heart broke for you.
Mine too.
So I know exactly how you felt. I know exactly how you felt.
Yeah, we got it on different aspects though, like different sides of the ball. Like mine was not a too early thing. Hey, we're gonna hurt you more. It's gonna help you. I'm like, yeah.
Where is the middle? It's scary, I guess, huh?
Yeah. But it's I'm grateful that she does listen. Not to everything the same way, but she knows what needs more attention than other things. So, if there's one thing advice I have for caregivers or spouses and children or whatever, like my oldest daughter, I mean, even my youngest, my youngest, she's a mini me. She's a mini Dave Knox, I could tell you. But
another one.
Oh yes. Yeah, even worse. Yeah, this kid's so great. She's gonna be something else when she grows. This kid is street smart. You can't fool her. But they have different methods, different things that they do. My daughter, my youngest, will ask me all the time if I need anything. She always grabs my cane from the truck when we get out the truck because she knows I'm probably going to need it. My oldest is much more a caregiver type of a person. Anytime we're by the stairs, she's always watching me come up and come down. She has her hands just to make sure, because there's been so many times that she's grabbed me as I'm about to fall backwards on the stairs or doing the wrong thing, and and she's there for me at a store.
She walks next to you.
Yeah, she helps me take my jacket off. Even my youngest has, she learns from her older sister, but from her sister, but she helps me take off my jacket now too, because taking off a jacket is beyond me at this point. I could put it on halfway decent. It depends. Taking off a jacket is impossible. So, kids are very great at paying, like my wife listens, my kids are very great at paying attention and seeing he's got, especially if they want dad to pay for the meal at Olive Garden, he needs to get the jacket off to reach his wallet and his pants, right? So, it's listening and paying attention is very important, especially for me.
And it helps, like, if he tells me, oh, my calves are super tight today, then, I offer, you want me to massage them? You want me to help, And sometimes he'll say, no, nothing's going to help. But sometimes he does say, yes, do it. If something's hurting, then I can specifically get him help for that. So it's really good that he does talk to me. He does tell me what the issues are. I run to Walgreens if there's anything I can buy, any medication that he may need, or make him his appointments. I think you should see this doctor, or I think we should go back here. And I do all those things. So I am glad that he explains to me his pains, his new pains that come on, and what his symptoms are. He's very specific. So it's helpful.
I can tell you that make some recommendations of the boots, the massaging boots. Oh my gosh, they're so awesome. I love those. And Sub-Zero is so much better than like biotin and those sort of other topical things that you can put on when you're achy or hurting. And David, Sub-Zero is the best for the knees.
Well, now just to try it. This stuff is. The last weekend until earlier this week was absolutely horrible. Crazy. It's crazy because my legs are strong. they are structurally strong, but it's different. If you can take the tremors outside away from me walking and stepping and stairs, you would think I would feel normal. So I feel like I'm stepping completely firm on the inside of my legs. But the shaking and tremors on the outside is like, no, you're not, So yeah, I never really wanted to take any medicine for that stuff before, but now I'm definitely gonna have to. It definitely gets. I don't know if it's the cold weather or whatever it is, but
it does get worse than cold. Yes, it does.
Yeah. This winter is much more worse. We talked about it yesterday. This winter is tremoring me from the inside compared to last year. So, we'll see. We'll see how this winter goes.
I find the best question that you can ask is, what doesn't hurt today?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You're not lying. Like I say, there's a whole laundry list for that question, but yeah, it's what doesn't hurt today? My pinky. Yeah.
You get less answers. You have to come up with less answers for that question.
It's the wheel of fortune. Spin the wheel.
So, what advice do you have for others that are fostering resilience and strength when facing the uncertainties of this progressive disease?
Get help. In one of your podcasts before, I heard someone who said she went and talked to a therapist, and I didn't understand at that point yet. I think it was one of your first few podcasts you did. And I was like, it helped for what? But as time has gone on, I realized that this is a horrible disease and it takes a toll on everyone. But I know that it takes a toll on the caregiver, especially if it's a loved one that you're taking care of. It's very difficult. So getting help, whether it be with a therapist, a psychologist, someone that you can talk to and give you firm medical advice. I'm not just talking about friends, because I have friends that I talk to, but taking care of yourself is going to help you to be able to take care of the family that you're taking care of. So taking care of yourself, very important.
And how is it for you? I mean, you are in the medical field, so you're taking care of people at work, and then you have to come home and take care of David. So
it's in my nature, so it's not hard. It's not hard at all. It's something that I like to do. Maybe I'm a little bit too pushy even sometimes with him, because if I see him struggling to do something, I jump and help him. I want to do stuff for him, and he's like, "Stop, I got it," and I'm like, "I'm just trying to help." That's just in me. It's just my nature. So
that's
it
sweet.
is. Yeah, but not for him.
Yeah. she's learned that after the 10th try of me trying to tie my right shoe.
Yeah.
She'll ask after 10 times instead of the first one. You need some help with that shoe? Like, no. Like, yes, go ahead.
But it's like frustrating because I see him struggling, like just to pull down his shirt. His hands are shaking so bad. So if I'm on the other side of the bed, I jump on the bed and I'm trying to tug down on his shirt, and he's like, "Stop, I got it." And I'm like, "No, you don't. Like you're, it's taking you 10 minutes to pull down your shirt, or pull up his underwear, whatever it is. I want to help, I want to do." And he's like, "I got it." So that's hard because it is in my nature. That's just me. I want to help.
How does one in our scenario, how, as a caregiver, how do you prepare for what's coming?
I don't even want to think about it, honestly. Like I'm taking it one day at a time, and he tells me enough of what's coming, and I read about it. Of course, I know what's coming, but I just try to think about it one day at a time. And I ask him, "How are your legs today? Do you feel like walking? Do you have any pain? What hurts today?" I try to ask, but I know what's coming. I just don't want to think about it. I don't know how to prepare myself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even trying to pile on to that because for the last 2 or 3 weeks, since I met the lawyer for the medical directives and last will and stuff like that, I finally figured out how I want to be, the word for this, disposed of after death.
Oh,
Right? I don't know what the word is for that, but I know what I want, but I know if I say it or write this down and she reads it right now, she will be a mess, a wreck. Like it's nothing you're thinking about. It's something that's plain, simple, to the point. But it's like you got to learn how to space this stuff out. Some, if you just pile on with all the bad stuff, then it hurts.
when I did mine, I sat with the lawyer and the witnesses, and my husband just walked around. He wasn't there to see what I was doing or what we were coming up with. That made it easier for him. And still to this day, like I listened to a podcast about it the other day, and when it got to that point, I turned it off because I didn't want him to have to hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I find it more comforting, my soul, to know what's coming and to embrace it and not celebrate it per se, but to say, you know what, I'm not scared of you. It is what it is. And do I have my down days or my down moments? Sure, you won't see those very often, but my wife and I are quite opposites. I'm tall, she's short. I'm pink and white, she's darker. I'm 6 foot, she's 4'11", 4'8", 4'9". But we're complete opposites, and I'm the person that I want to know. I want to hit it in the face and take it to task. And she's the one that says, I can deal with this much right now, but not everything else. So it's quite different how we approach MSA in its totality.
I understand that for sure. And it's like we can relate to a lot of things, and David can kind of see what is in the future for him by what's going on with me right now, so he gets some kind of understanding.
Yeah, I mean that's the God's honest truth. Is you're farther along. We all know that everybody's MSA is different, but they generally go linear to each other, and particularly, and yeah, and it's sad. It's sad to say, to look at you, Daisy, and look at anyone else and be like, oh yeah, that's going to be me, and it could be in 6 months, it could be 2 years or 3 years. You never know, right? But
Right.
But you know what? I see people on these Zoom calls I'm a part of and these other conferences, and other people have for many years, and they're still doing something. They can still smile. You can still see. They have some enjoyment. So it's not all loom and gloom. That's for sure.
You have your videos, and I have my books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have all your famous introductions on the podcast.
You're funny.
We talked about the kids. How do you explain my condition to your friends and other family?
I screenshot a lot of information that I get from WebMD or, from medical things, because if you say MSA, they don't understand, or they automatically think it's MS. Oh, he's gonna be okay. Oh, there's medications, and then I screenshot that there's a life expectancy with this. No, he's not gonna get better, and that's the hardest thing for me. Like, even talking to a lot of friends that I've pushed away because they want to ask me the same question. Oh, how's your husband? Is he getting better? Is he getting any treatment? And it is very hard to tell people, no, he's not getting better. No, he's not
going
getting
to.
No, it's not. He's getting worse. His condition is not going to get better. And that's the hardest thing for me to deal with. And I get it. People do it out of they're being kind. They don't say it in a mean spirit, but it does hurt my feelings to always have to repeat myself. Like, I hope he gets better. Well, no, he's not gonna get better. And I don't want to be a mean person or rude and and say that like that, but it's rough. It's very rough to answer that question.
Over and over and over again.
Over and over again. Every time I see friends, and I get it. Like I said, they care. They love me. They love him. And they want to, know that we're going to be okay. Well, no. Unfortunately, with this disease, things don't get better.
And it's sad because we do have a really good nights where we are doing better, and friends will say, "Oh, she is getting better. He is getting better." No, just a good day.
It has. We have some good friends, and on my last dinner with my birthday, I these are the types of friends we have. Is I sat there and said, nobody in the history of MSA has gotten better.
Yeah.
But I appreciate them for being there. And nobody said anything. Not one person said, "Oh, yeah, you will," or "Yeah, you can," or "God will do it," or whatever. A to Z, the whole spectrum, right? Nobody said anything because they know it won't get better. So, embrace me how I am, and what we're fighting together, and not just hopeless dreams of things that won't happen. Of course, you never know the future, right? But we're surrounded by some good friends that have offered and have done many things for us. So, it does help out for sure. So we talk about the bad of MSA. How about
The good?
There's a good question here. Here we go, Daisy. We talk about these analytical questions here, right? Is there anything positive that has come out of your husband, myself, and speaking in first, second, third person here, having MSA? Anything positive at all?
Well, I am, and you have been trying to spend more time with us, but we've always been a close family. We've always done a lot of stuff together. But we are trying to stick together to help each other out and continue to spend time together, doing trips or, cruises like we like, or just going out to eat together as a family. We continue to do that. And I do appreciate that. And our daughters have always been, very interested in coming out with us too. We like spending time together. We always have a good time. So I wouldn't say it's gotten better, but I think that we appreciate more all the time that we do have together and that we get to spend together, and we make a bigger effort to spend time together.
And you don't take things for granted.
No, definitely not.
It's impossible, right?
Yes, it is. How has your perspective on life and relationships changed?
Oh, it's hard. When you first get married, you think, oh, we're gonna be together forever, we're gonna grow old together, we're gonna retire together. You have all these plans, and now all those plans have changed. And it's hard to think that I wanted to grow old with him and retire somewhere in Mexico and live, happily ever after. And now I know that that may not be possible. And it's very difficult to take in, to think that our dreams may not come true, our ideas and hopes and stuff that we wanted to do. It's very hard to look into the future right now.
Yeah, you take each day by day and just enjoy it while you can.
There's a woman that still has some um, still optimistic. You heard her words. May not be able to. May not. Not that we won't.
Not this you won't. That's true.
Yeah. That's the optimism you still got to have from time to time. You know.
Yeah, and that's how I have to be with my husband because he is the other way around, which I guess is not really the other way around, but it is. He's the one that is like, no, we won't like be optimistic. Live each day by day. Eh, Don't take the little things for granted. Just enjoy us while we can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Susie, looking forward past today.
Don't make Daisy cry.
I'm almost got you, Daisy. I saw it a minute ago. Susie, what are some future hopes and goals and aspirations that we have for our family? From your side, um, where do we go from here?
Like I said, I want to keep going one day at a time and continue to make memories with our children and continue to live some of those dreams that we do have. We lived a lot of them this summer. This was, a wonderful vacation we had, but continue to do the things that we like together with our children. Like I said, our kids love being with us and doing stuff with us. So I want to continue to do that. I don't want to put a timeline to, okay, in 3 years, I'm going to be by myself. I don't want to think about that at all. I want to continue to be positive and hopeful and try to make some of our dreams come true.
Yeah.
I was just thinking. Am I still a husband who doesn't clean up around the house anymore? That I have MSA? Can I get off that bad list of you don't do the dishes, you got to clean a little bit more, you sleep in too much. Is that okay now that I have MSA?
I've learned to take more naps because he lays down and I see him laying down and I come and I lay down with him. Next thing you know, we're both asleep. That's okay. I mean, I'm okay with that. And I've even told him, hey, don't pick up that stuff. Don't, every time he's eating, I grab his plate from him and I take it.
Oh my Lord. I went outside, I picked up, I was taking something outside. It was a box of trash. It had some weight to it. Oh my God, I should have, it must have been 20 pounds. That's nothing. 20 pounds is nothing, right? Especially to a man. I about killed myself. I look like a clown, like a mime out there as I was stumbling back and forth. It was horrible.
Yeah, I no longer nag about take the trash out, which he still does sometimes. But things that I expected, I don't want him to hurt himself. I wanted to move his computer room upstairs because we have a bedroom that's empty upstairs. And I said, why don't we bring your computer upstairs? That way you don't come down the stairs, even though it's not that many. Still, I see him shaking, I see him tripping, I see him going sideways, and I'm just afraid that he's going to hurt himself. So I'm like, let's change it upstairs. And he's like, no, not yet. But still, we always got to look for the positive in everything. I guess he still wants to make the effort of going down and moving and stuff. So that's good. But yeah, no, I try not to sweat the small things anymore.
Yeah, I see my husband buzzing around the house, cleaning this and doing laundry and this and that. I'm like, I wish I could help you. I could help you if I would help you if I could.
Yeah, I mean, it's the things that you take for granted now. Like the other day, I tried turning the couches over to sweep under the couches properly and run the robot vacuum, whatever, and I killed myself just trying to flip it over, right? And now it's now the newest thing for me is my feet are going too far on the steps, even if I'm looking at them.
Oh yeah, you're getting in the middle of your foot.
My toes are overshooting the steps by a couple inches now, so it's really weird. I really can't place my feet for sure. They're on stairs going too far is detrimental. So yeah, I got my moments when I try to do things, but at least her and kind of the kids, but mostly her is able to clean up. And I try not to add anything I can't add to the mess. I really try not to. I mean, I may have stuff here and there, but I try not to spill anything, and I take my dishes back when I can. And the simple things, right? Don't create more of a mess for someone who's taking care of you. And it seems to work out pretty well.
Right.
So Susie, what's our future? What's our next trip?
I don't know yet. I want to go to Mexico. We want to go to Mexico and visit family. I like to do that.
I think we have a cruise lined up as well, and
Yeah, another cruise.
where there's a beach, nice hot beach, even though it's going to kill me and hurt me. Mexico might not be the best place because Mexican food actually hurts me now. Like
That's so weird.
Yeah, some of the sauces and white queso. I don't know what it is yet, but some of the Mexican food physically hurts in the heat down there. So I'll give it a go.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll give it a go for sure.
How long's it been since you've been to Mexico to see family?
Last time we went, our 18-year-old was 5. Yeah, because where my family lives, there's a lot of drug cartels.
I think somewhere around 2012, I think.
Yeah, and so we don't want to be there. If I was a Mexican with the Mexican family, then yeah, that wouldn't be an issue. We would just blend in. But bringing Americans over is just not safe, especially where they live. So.
Yeah.
But we do want to go and visit because it's been 13 years, 15 years? 13, I think. Somewhere. Yeah, about 13 years. And we used to go every year when we first got married. We used to drive there every single year. And then we had to stop because it got too dangerous.
Your youngest daughter, she hasn't been down there?
No, they haven't met her. They've only met our oldest. Yeah.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah, we want to take her to meet family. Some of our family comes here to visit, like my grandma and some uncles and aunts and cousins, but of course not everyone. Most of my family is in Mexico.
Well, yeah, I wish you could make that trip, and it wouldn't be so dangerous.
Suzy, is there anything you'd like to add?
I just want to tell everyone to enjoy your life. Enjoy one day at a time, because just because you have this horrible disease doesn't mean you're not going to see some of your friends pass away first. Unfortunately, we've gone through that, and life is not something that when it's going to be over. So I hope that everyone finds a little bit of joy in their life and appreciates life and tries to enjoy it, especially with the loved ones. Because it's what I keep telling Dave, let's take pictures, let's do this. He's not a picture person. So I keep begging, let's take pictures with the kids. Let's do pictures here, because those are memories that we need for the future. We don't know when our life is going to end. But when you have a disease such as this one, you do know that it's going to end sooner than expected. And it's not an easy pill to swallow, but you have to appreciate every day.
Yeah, it's kind of a reminder. Unfortunately, a bad reminder.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is. Every day. Well, it could always be worse.
That is a good point. That's something that I say a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says that a lot.
I know a lot of people have a lot worse things than me or die randomly, and we talk about it all the time. Can't say goodbye or whatever. And there's a lot more horrible diseases than MSA that are even worse. So, yeah, it could always be worse.
Yeah, life is very unexpected. Of course, like I said in the beginning, my dream was to grow old together, retire, see our children have, their families, have their children, and to have that hope or that dream taken away is very hard. It hurts me when I'm walking down anywhere and I see 2 old people holding hands.
Yeah.
Am I gonna have that? I'm not, and I cry. I literally cry in public because I see these people and I'm happy for them, but I'm not happy for me because that now has been taken away from me. I don't know if I'm gonna have that. I hope I do, but it's very hard. So I do try to appreciate every day because we don't know what's coming, when it's coming. So
you feel robbed.
Yeah, I do. Like, I have so many dreams, so many things that we talked about that we wanted to do. I know our daughters feel it too. My oldest has told me, I want my dad to be there when I graduate college or when I get married. And we know that may not happen.
I know I get jealous when I see people, like you said, we see an old couple walking. I just feel jealous, so jealous of them.
In a good way. I'm happy for them, but I'm not happy for me.
No.
There's watch those, every time you watch Netflix or Amazon or whatever, and They show the father walking their daughter down the aisle. It's my oldest. Sure, I'm not going to see my youngest get married. That's one of those constant reminders, whether it's in a movie or TV series. If I'm lucky, if I'm fortunate, I'll get to see my youngest graduate high school. But there's no guy at the rate of progression this thing is. There's no way I'll ever see my daughter get married, per se. So in college, I'm glad that we have digital media and the ability to take pictures and videos and back them up and keep them forever.
That's what I was just going to say. At least we have some kind of warning where you can sit and make a video for your daughter when she gets married or when she has children, when she graduates, just in case, you'll have that opportunity you do have an opportunity to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Many people don't get that, so we do have that.
Yeah, I think it's very important, as you guys were talking, it's very important to talk to your children, be on the same page with them as much as you can. But to me, given my dad's disease that he had, I think it's much more important, like I tell my kids, is to learn from your parents, learn from me, learn from your mother, for me to teach them as much as I can about nonsense, about everything and about nothing, about why some stars are white, some stars are blue, it's just ridiculous things, but important things from time to time to pass on that knowledge, because, the things that we do now, they will remember. They're not going to remember dad yelling at them one day because they didn't make their bed.
Right.
But they will remember things that are taught and they're spoken to them that they learned from their father and their mother as well. And that's really what our relationship is now, is leaving the kids just not memories, but leaving them knowledge and truths that will guide them well past when I'm gone. That's really what I've been trying to do especially the last 2 years. I've been trying to leave behind not a legacy. Legacy does not concern me, but to leave behind knowledge that they can use.
Information.
Again, even if it's silly science knowledge, or how the waves of the ocean and gravity works and stuff, just things that's what kids are like. You always know everything. I'm like, well, thank you, I guess. Yeah, it's important to have a bond with your kids, to make sure that when they grow up, you're not forgotten. You're remembered. And like, I thank my dad for teaching me things. I thank my mother, even to this day, for teaching me things. Those are the things that will never go away. Those actions.
Yeah, so true. Suzy, thank you so much. It's been nice to sit here and cry with you.
We almost
I tried.
almost got through it. Almost.
I try not to cry.
I always try to, but I never succeed.
I'm gonna go on Amazon and make one of those OSHA calendars. This is how many days since the last injury. I'm gonna say how many days since the last cry on podcast.
0.
A little bit back to 0.
That's funny.
But thank you so much for coming on. It's really nice to meet you. I hear David talk good things about you, and it's really nice to talk with you. And I thank you so much for coming and taking time out of your day to spend with us.
Thank you so much for listening. It's been great talking to you guys.
We'll like to have you on again someday.
I was going to say,
Anytime.
definitely want to have her back, right?
Anytime.
Yeah.
Well,
Happy New Year.
Same to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.